Hello colleagues, welcome back to the Active Data online tutorial. We will now treat the last of the 5 data cleansing commands in Active Data. In the previous videos, we have treated the first 4 and now we'll be treating the last one, which is split column command. The split column command enables you to split the content of a column into its component items. Unlike split sheet, where you have to split the whole or the entire sheet into separate sheet. Here, split column, you only split the content of a column into separate columns. The split column command is located within the columns command. When you click on the drop down button, it is the second command from the top, located within the worksheet group. So I'll click on this split column command to activate the dialog box. Now, as you can see, the dialog box is a bit robust. It comprises 5 sections and or 4 major sections and then some minor sections. So that means that this video will be necessarily lengthy in order for us to cover the entire sections of this dialog box. Now, to the left hand side is the list of the columns you can split. So all the columns in your data are what you can see here. Then the next section and other sections represent the options that you can use to split these columns. So the first option is splitting text and numbers that have been combined. Columns that contain combination of text or numbers, or even numbers alone or text alone. However, this is the option for splitting such. And you can split either from the left hand side or from the right hand side or from the middle. We'll look at that example. Now, the third section is used for splitting words, into their components. For example, you can split names in a single cell into their various components, into surname, middle name, and last name, on separate columns. You can use this to split that. And just below that option, we have splitting debit and credit value. So when you have combination of amount in combined together, for example, you have debit and credit as seen here, you can split them into their various components. And also you can split email addresses or websites, using specified parameter to split them into their various ID and the other domain name. And lastly, in the last section, you have the date columns. You can split date columns into various components of year, month, day of week, and the actual day of transaction. So let us look at the first section, splitting text and numbers column. Now, this section can be used to split where you have combination of text and numbers, for example, in column G. If you look at column G, we have, it's called account number. In this column, we have text separated from numbers by a hyphen, and you can see all through. And what is happening here is the account number, the ledger account number is being represented by combination of the account categories as well as their number. For example, BS here stands for balance sheet. So you have balance sheet and the account type, as well as IS stands for income statement. So all of these are income statement account, while the BS all represent balance sheet account. So we do not want our account this way. We want to separate the first 2 items, the BS and IS, from the account numbers. We want to split this at the middle here, and want to do it all across, all down the column to the end of the column at once. So we'll use the split column command to do that, and this is the option, the text and numbers column is the command to apply, is the option to apply. So we will first of all indicate that we want to split this column by going to the left hand side of this dialog box where it says column to split and look for this account number. It's already selected. Usually when you leave your cursor on a column before activating the dialog box, Active Data will automatically highlight that column where you leave your cursor. That's the way of quickly going to a column where you have a very large data rather than start looking for it from the list of columns here. So I will now check this box as a way of telling Active Data that this is my column of reference that I want to split. Then I will now come to the first section here. I'm interested in splitting this column, removing the first two items across board. If you notice, as I scroll down, you will notice that the account numbers have the same format. They all start with 2 letters followed by a hyphen and then numbers. Now you notice that the numbers are not uniform. Some numbers are 4, others are 5, some are 3. So it will make sense to split from the right hand side. It won't make sense to split from the right hand side. So for convenience, I will rather split from the left hand side. Why? Because the left hand side contains uniform letters, either IS or BS, and they're followed by an hyphen. So that means I am going to split here for using split text and numbers. And I'll split from the left hand side. So the first option here says left hand side, the second one says from the right, and the last one is from the middle. So clearly I will use from the left hand side. So I'll check this box. And the moment I check this box, Active Data will open up this box, this one, for me to be able to rename the column name. It's going to split this into separate columns. So I can give it a name. However, I will leave the name here as left. I'll change it after split. Then the next option here says create remainder column. Now what does remainder column mean? Remainder column simply means after splitting BS away from -0799, for example, do you want to keep, because it recognizes BS and IS as what I'm interested in, the remainder is the #0799. Do I want to keep them? Yes, I still need the account number, so I will check this box. That is, split this into 2 and create both of them on separate columns for me. And that's all. That's all I need to do. So from here, I will simply go to finished and notice that Active Data will split column G into 2 additional columns. So here we go, finished. Okay, so we continue. Now we are asked to specify the number of characters. That is, how many characters do we want to split from the left hand side? As you can see, there are 2, B and S or I and S, and it is the same all through, so that's uniform. So we want to split B, S or I, just 2 characters from the left hand side. So I will type in 2 here, and that's all. Now from here, I'll click on finish, and I expect Active Data to split column G into 2. So first of all, let's look for column G, the original column. Now that is column G. So so that's column G. Column G is the original column. It has been split into P, S, the 2 characters that I specified to the left, and the remainder is, you can see the heading says remainder, and here you have account number left. So you now have the remainder as the actual account number. So this has successfully split my columns into 2 separate columns, the original still being intact. So that's the way to use the first option. We will now look at how to split let me open up the dialog box again, and then this time around we'll look at how to split the columns, text columns splitting them into words.